Hey, what's up, YouTube? I'll start you off. That's my dog, Ray. She'll probably stick her nose into this video a little more. And I'm going to ask you to bear with me for a minute because cell phones are a pain in the butt to use. Go figure. I see why people don't use them very much, but. So, bear with me. First thing I was going to go over, this is my EcoZoom rocket stove. I'm not sure if anybody's ever used one of these. I know a lot of people that are always talking about having food, having water, yada yada yada. Doesn't do you a lot of good if you can't cook it, does it? I know a lot of people know how to build a fire. It's not really that hard. But you gotta have wood. This little guy can pretty much cook your meal using just kindling that you would start a normal fire with. Will it take a few extra minutes? Yeah, probably. But I would say it's well worth it. Now, mine hasn't been used very much. I don't know how well you can see it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. As you can see, the bottom one, that's basically nothing but air. And then you got the top one, which of course, you got this little grate. I can feed my sticks in. Really, once you get a fire going, it doesn't take that long. Like I said, I could probably boil water within maybe 10 minutes, maybe a little longer. I don't know. I don't sit there and time it. But take the food storage type of long-term food storage type of food that I'm sure you've heard of. These things are great for that. I don't know. I'm not going to necessarily fire this thing up. I could possibly in the future if people are interested. I just thought I'd show it, get it out there. And while I'm at it, I'd also like to let you know that you can build these things fairly easy. I've seen multiple videos with people using, what is it, a paint can, and then a gallon paint can, like a pint paint can, and then just a normal can you use for vegetables and stuff. You use those three, and there's a little bit to it, but if you really wanted to, you could make one for next to nothing. I didn't go that route, but you could. And the other thing I was going to show you is this guy. I'm not necessarily going to go through it in detail. I'll simply say this is the one that typically sits in the back seat of my truck. I'll go through it a little bit. I just don't want to make too long of a video. But I'm going to point one thing out right off the get-go. That thing is heavy as hell. And as you'll probably notice while I do videos, I don't have a very good back. So a lot of people always say to me, why would you have such a big backpack? Well, I've got all kinds of stuff in there. And the way I see it, I'd rather have virtually everything I could think of that I would need in that pack. And then if something were to happen, take out what I don't need. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? So, with that said, right now it's closed up. Obviously, you can see my canteen here. My pan, my hat. And that's always empty, but you know, it's there. Got a couple little pockets here. This guy is actually a pretty sweet little water filter, which, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Bear with me. Not much to it. Got a couple of filters, lines, and then again, I apologize for the camera work, but as you can see, you hook the one line onto that side, the other one onto that, and then I'm moving it out of the way. Really, all you gotta do is spin that little pump around and pump it. And don't quote me on this, but I want to say this is like 10,000 gallons that it'll filter, especially with the amount of filters I have. So for now, I'll just set that aside. I'll put all this stuff back as I go. What else I got in there? Raincoat, because why wouldn't you want a raincoat? Now this guy is, as you can see, my medical pack. I'm not going to go through that. It's a pretty good medical pack. Got about everything you need. Tell you the truth, you could almost make a survival kit out of that pack. But I keep it in the side. I'll open up the main, which is really just some food. You know, apple cinnamon cereal. You know, basically the stuff that I was just telling you I would cook with. Now, I know most of you probably don't want to hear this, but yes, that was Wise Food. Yeah, I'm sure some of you have heard some of the stuff that Wise Food ended up doing. I bought it a long time ago. Bear with me. You know, it is what it is. Yes, they ended up letting all that info out, blah, blah, blah. You can only do so much, folks. And I've only been, how do I want to say, awake for a handful of years out of 40-some. You don't really need to know my age, do you? Anyway, like I said, I've got a lot of stuff here. You know, that right there is a cushion. Well, I just told you I had a bad back. If I got to sleep on the ground, I need a little help. That bag I won't go through. It's actually in short a change of clothes. You know, rather than sit here and go through everything, I'll just say a few things, because I've got, I don't know that you can even see in there, and it's not worth pulling everything out, but I've got everything from tarps, this cheap little radio, which is on. Oh, that's nice. Wonder how long that's been on for. Oh well. Those things are pretty cool. It's a wind up. I could pull it out of the bag and everything, but it's one of those wind up radios. So you just got to crank it a few times. It's even got a cell phone attachment. So if I wanted to, yes, I could charge that. And I told you, we're going to have company through most of this video. Again, I'm not going to get super detailed. You know, this watch alone has like 15 things on it. You know, some of these things, as I used to camp and stuff for so many years, a lot of these things were gifts and stuff, and they just kind of ended up on my pack. You know, here's something you don't hear a whole lot about. It's nothing more than a bandana. Ray, get back. It's nothing more than a bandana. Do I need to go all day on what you can do with a bandana? If nothing else, you can filter. You could use it as a filter, as a first stage filter for your water if you really wanted to. I got miles of paracord. You know, flashlights. I mean, even this little guy, this little shovel, you never know. You don't know what you're going to need, when you're going to need it. These are matches, of course. There's a couple other packages. That's literally just a little saw. No, they aren't the greatest things in the world. But if you needed it, you'd have it. There's the handle. And again, I don't want to get too awful crazy. I'm going to try to pull a couple more things out of here. You know what you can do with that? If you don't look it up. I suppose I could tell you. But, you know, duct tape, use your imagination. I mean, honestly, there's a million different things from fixing your tent. You could you patch a wound with it if you wanted to. I'm not going to say I'd suggest it, but this little guy I like. It's not the greatest knife in the world, but As you can see, it does have the flint, so I can start a fire. And as I told you before, my camera work is going to suck, but that's a pretty good little blade. It stays in there. Like I said, my camera work's going to suck, so if you don't like bad camera working channels, well, either unsubscribe or give me a couple of months. Oh, you did not just take that. All right. Well, apparently I'm going to have to go chase my dog around now because she just decided to take something out of my backpack. Because that's how dogs are. And there it is. And now I got to go get a treat to coax her away from it. So, I guess, with that said, I'll just leave this video as is because I'm going to go chase my dog down. Probably going to end a lot of videos like this. That said, you know, just stay vigilant. Be prepared. I mean, if I had a nickel for every time I think I've had to say this to people, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I don't even know what I'm talking about when I say that. Everything. It's like the toilet paper issue we seem to have going on here. If you didn't already know to keep that kind of stuff stocked up, I'm not surprised you're having a problem. What do you do? I don't know. I'd rather not get into it. It's just, it is kind of frustrating, and that's part of the reason why I'm starting to put up a couple of YouTube videos, because maybe I can get some of my actual friends to start paying attention, because they're not. They don't care. I'm sure I don't need to tell. Hey, you're not going to chew on that. Anyway, my point is, I'm trying to wake a few people up. Any level I can get you. You don't have to be in as deep as I am. You just got to kind of see things for, well, I can see things for kind of how they are. Not always. It takes a little work. None of us are right all the time, but what do you do? But with that said, I'm going to let you guys go because now she's tearing it up. Have a good one, YouTube.